the phrase found in the Proverbs, "Pride goes before destruction," is perhaps not merely very remarkable for all of us, in order to remember that it is pride which leads to our destruction. Today, 80 years ago, precisely on August the 6th of the Gregorian year 1945, an atom bomb was dropped into one of the cities belonging to the Imperial Japan, killing hundreds of thousands. According to certain reports, not fewer than 250,000 people instantly or within a very brief period of time. Today, many countries of the world, so-called the member states of the United Nations Organization, including the permanent members of the Security Council, possess nuclear weapons which can destroy a large part of our world and its population instantly. Today, we are confronted with the grave danger of a nuclear war, or perhaps wars in plural, when various mighty powers of the world, including those who possess nuclear arsenals, are threatening their neighbors, including those who belong to the same race in the long past. Japan also dropped a bomb into the same city from which I'm telecasting live prior to the ending of the Second World War. More correctly, in the course of the Second World War, namely the city of Calcutta, today also called Kolkata by many people. But remarkably enough, both the city of Calcutta or Kolkata, belonging to the Republic of India today, and the Imperial Japan have been able to develop a very close friendship, even belonging to an organization called the Quadrant Alliance, consisting namely of Australia, India, Japan, and the United States of America. We have a goal to ensure that our world remains free of dictatorial tyranny or tyrannical dictator of not merely one single state, but dictators of various states, particularly in the Eastern world. Even recently, the Republic of India with the Philippines carried out certain naval drills. But are we truly safe by so carrying out? Are we not endangering ourselves even further in inviting conflicts which are likely to destroy both our enemies but also us? Since October the 7th of the Gregorian year 2023, more than 60,000 people died in the Middle East. Perhaps alone in the Judean Samaria, also called Gaza, and Israel, of course. but also in the neighboring countries and states like Lebanon, Syria, Iran, and also in the African states. In Eastern Europe, deaths continue from day to day. Destructions follow at the same time. Are we too proud to recognize this very fact, inviting self-destruction, not merely to us, but also to the generations to come? That bomb which was dropped into one of the cities of the Imperial Japan did not merely kill so many people instantly, but also ensured that many others who would be born deformed, and would follow the destructive course, which were most certainly inevitable in consequence of that particular striking or dropping of the bomb. During the First and the Second World Wars, millions of people died. And at the end of the First World War, namely on the 11th of November of the Gregorian year 2018, people thought there would not be another war. Alas, they were wrong. For the Second World War began officially in the year 1939 and continuing officially until 1945. People thought that we would have learned our lesson. Alas, we were wrong. Wars continue even today, more destructively, in a short and brief period of time than during the First and the Second World Wars. When are we going to learn that self-destruction cannot and does not and will not ensure our pride, but rather our humanity, our inhumanity in failing to follow the course of humanity? We have far greater wars to fight today, namely the catastrophes or the calamities brought by the nature due to our own folly in increasing global warming, the greenhouse gases. We are unable to cope with the situations caused by the earthquakes and natural calamities and catastrophes. Should we not consider ourselves duty-bound to combat such destructive situations rather than thinking of destroying each other? People are starving to death in the Judean Samaria, also called Gaza. Both the victims of October the 7th, 2023, and the victims which were to follow in consequence of the Israelite-Palestine war. People are dying today in Eastern Europe because a fascist dictator is unwilling to accept the terms based upon true humanity. Wars are continuing in African countries because people are too proud to give in to humanity. We are confronted with wars or warlike situations today, even in our own countries, on our own continent, namely the Republic of India and the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, where both nations are confronted with natural calamities of floods, droughts, and other destructive situations. Should we not wake up to fight against natural calamities instead of fighting against each other when we need each other so desperately today? We cannot exist on our own as a single community. We belong to a global community, communities of nations and states. When shall we recognize the obvious danger? When shall we recognize the fact that creating and using bombs and other arsenals can only destroy each other? When are we going to recognize the fact there is no victory in a war? Because the people of our own whom we lose during the war, who are destroyed, killed, murdered and maimed, a loss for us, not merely for our enemies. When are we going to recognize the facts that babies and children are the very future of our world, and we have no right, nor legitimacy, nor any justification, either at law or in equity, to destroy them? When are we going to recognize the fact that unity of the world communities give us strength to fight against natural calamities? The bushfires which are consuming parts of the world, in America, in Europe, and in other countries. Floods which are destroying lives and property, both of our own people and our neighboring states, whom we foolishly consider to be our enemies. When are we going to recognize this obvious fact that we can do better for all of us in our world instead of trying to destroy each other, if we consider supporting each other, choose the right path of humanity? A question I am obliged to ask my fellow global citizens, even my own humble self today. I bid all of you a solemn night, a night crossing from that memorial day of 6th August 2045, currently, of the Gregorian year, I beg your pardon, from the dreadful day of 1945 to this particular day of the Gregorian year 2025, 80 years after the dreadful day of bombing that particular city of Japan. When are we going to recognize this fact, that we are born for each other, not to fight against each other? We are a human race, a world community. We can do much better for each other by being for each other, rather than in endeavoring to destroy each other. A question I raise. All of my fellow global citizens, however humble and unworthy I may be, in order to befit their citizenship. Bidding you the guidance and the protection of the same Almighty who created all of us, even those victims who were and are being destroyed due to our own folly, and bid you a solemn night.